Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's student-athlete parent meeting for the 2011-12 school year.
Somebody else gets.
We've got a few things we're going to cover tonight in regards to nutrition, our concussion testing, milk program, and then we'll get into the packet that we'll be filling out. First off, we have Rebecca Deshane from the Partners in Education.
Great, thank you. As you said, I'm Rebecca Deshane, Partners in Education Drug Alliance. I work with the program Life of an Athlete. Last fall, John Underwood was actually here and talked with the student athletes about what it is that you can be doing to help improve your performance. So I appreciate the opportunity to be back here. I was just telling Oren I feel like I'm a regular here, so thanks for putting up with me for one more year. I'm going to run through some quick slides for you, some real key things for you both as parents and as athletes that you need to be aware of, so that you can have the best athletic season of your lifetime and it can continue to build as you're going through. So again, it's called Life of an Athlete. We just did a statewide training in Lambeau Field for all of Wisconsin. John Underwood is the program director, so this was the best training, the best event he's ever had in the 11-year career with Life of an Athlete. So we're excited what you're doing here in Wisconsin, and what you're doing here in Denmark is outstanding as well, so thank you. So why am I here? I'm here to talk to you because these are your 10 riskiest years of your life. Studies show that more youth die during this age than any other age. And part of it is from risky behaviors that you're taking as your brain is developing and what that is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what some of those are, what you need to be doing with your brain, or how you can help your brain develop to its fullest potential. So we've all seen pictures of this, unfortunately, and the most common phrase is, "This didn't have to happen." Something involving with drugs, with alcohol, with car crashes. Unfortunately, we're probably all too familiar and have personal stories regarding this. And it's something that if kids are doing, parents, you need to be aware that your kids are doing this, that they're going out and they're drinking. And unfortunately, some of them are driving, and these are some of the things that we need to be worried about. So we want to talk about tonight why, as a student athlete, you don't want to be doing these things. We know from studies that alcohol use increases every year. By the time you're a senior, it is at a dangerous level. Almost 85 to 90% in some cases of kids in some schools are using. Might be a little less in other locations, but it's something that is out there. I was just talking to a parent today, and his son's 19, and he said it is so hard to find any place to go where there's not drugs or alcohol. So how can we help you achieve what we want you to? Is one of those things is not to be providing alcohol for our children. And we also know that athletes are using. You hear stories of professional athletes, and it affects their performance. So think about them being professional athletes at the ultimate peak career of that and the impact it has on them. And then come back and think about your own performance where you're still learning and how much more significant that impact is going to be on you. And it's a negative impact. It doesn't have any positive impact whatsoever. So again, some high school statistics, 58% of students admit to using alcohol, 20% admit to using marijuana. Marijuana stays in your body longer, up to 40 days, where you can be traced for it. So if you're taking a drug test and you smoke marijuana, that's in your system from anywhere to 40 to 80 days. If you're by somebody, if you're just in a car or at a party where someone is smoking marijuana, that gets into your system as well. You need to be aware that as an athlete, it is going to affect you. If you need to take a drug test or a drug screening, that is going to have an impact on you. This slide shows kind of a case study. You can't see the lines very well, but the yellow lines are athletes, and the red line is non-athletes. And you can see that they trend on the same. So it's not that whether or not you're an athlete is going to keep you from using alcohol or drugs. You can see that it trends up as you get towards college. Obviously, that's where your peak use is. But athletes use as much or sometimes more than non-athletes. And unfortunately, our leaders are using too. So you select captains. What is your captain supposed to do? They're there to lead you, to show by example how you're supposed to be at your best performance. So if your captains are using alcohol, they're not helping you understand what you could be doing better to be at your peak performance. So Captains, if you're a captain in this room, it's your job to stand up and be leaders. It's your job to say, that's not going to be acceptable on our team. We are a team and we're going to be at our peak performance, and drug and alcohol use is not going to be part of how we reach that goal, because you'll never reach a goal of peak performance if you're using drugs and alcohol. So tonight I want to talk a little bit, I only have about 15 minutes, about your brain. What is the impact on your brain? How is your brain utilized to make you the best athlete that you can? So we're talking a little bit about drugs and alcohol, and then that other drink that all kids like to use, energy drinks, I'm sure. How many of you have had energy drinks? How many of you had an energy drink today? Oh, that's good, not very many, I'm proud of you. All right, so brain development is key. More and more science is coming out. I know I've shown this slide here before, but 12 to 21 is where your frontal portion of your brain is starting to develop. That's your moral reasoning, your judgment, and all of that. When you use drugs, you use alcohol, even stimulants like caffeine and energy drinks, you impact your body and your brain's ability to develop into its best. So this slide shows where the development is, 5 years as you go older. As it gets to be more and more yellow, that's showing how your brain is developing and all the different areas of your brain that are going through those growth periods. So 5 years, 20 is at the end. So right where it says hormonal onset, you're talking 12, 13, 14 for some of you in the room. Your brain is about to explode into its biggest growth period right now. So why does that matter? Well, it matters because as you're learning a skill, your brain needs to learn what that is. Well, the first time you do something, you may not get it down perfectly. Your brain is using 2 portions of it. But as you practice that skill, as you learn that skill, it gets stored in your temporal lobe. So you don't have to use as much thought process to do something. Once you've learned it, you can do it quicker, you can do it faster, you can do it better. And it's stored right there. But when you start adding drugs and alcohol to the mix, then your body needs to think more. Your brain needs to be rewired to send the signal to your arm if you're a pitcher or whatever it is that you're doing. Your brain needs to rewire itself in order to send that signal. It takes longer. You can see on the left-hand side where there's more red areas, that's different portions of your brain that are being used after you've been using alcohol that need to be used in order to send that signal. Or on the left-hand side, you just need that one small section that's in the yellow circle. So you got to think about what you're doing. What are you doing off the field that's impacting you on the field as well? What are you putting into your body? What are you doing with your body in order to make yourself at your best? So again, we're talking normal brain activity. In addition to making your brain have to work harder, it also doesn't work as well. On the top, you see where a normal brain activity, that's all the activity going on in your brain where you can do all the different things. On the bottom is where an alcohol user, 15 years old, and that's the impact, limited brain capacity. They're unable to do what they need to do or able to process what they need to process in order to be successful. So some images, again, these are from the Aman Clinic. On the left-hand side, you see a healthy brain. On the right-hand side, these are pictures from 17-year-old. The one on the right-hand side over the alcohol one is a 17-year-old user who uses only on the weekend, a heavy user. So the areas that look like holes are actually decreased brain activity, where there is not the function that should be going on capacity there. So again, another whole view for you. You can see that it looks kind of like cottage cheese. So that's how little brain you have to use in order to be successful. So what does this mean for you as an athlete? I've told this before, I've heard it before. It's one night of drinking erases up to 14 days of athletic training. So you're about to start football, correct? So as you go out and you're going to do you guys do 2 days? So you're gonna have your 2 days out there and you're gonna be working hard and it's hot out and you're gonna go out and drink and you're gonna erase everything that you've done in that time period. So that when you hit the field for your first football game, you are not going to be at your peak performance in order to play at your best and to be able to win that game. So again, we're talking about your brain, and one of the things is called your central nervous system. So in addition to alcohol and drugs actually causing those problems within your brain, we're going to talk a little bit how stimulants cause your brain to be overstimulated. So when you're using energy drinks, it causes your brain to actually not be at peak performance either. It runs your body, so you need to take good care of it. And the question we want to ask you is, are you rested and ready? How many of you guys have cell phones? Okay? Well, what happens when you use your cell phone all the time? It goes down, 1 bar, right? And all of a sudden it's dead. Same thing with your brain. If you don't plug your cell phone in, it's not going to work. Same thing with your brain. If you're not getting the rest and the sleep that you need, you're not going to be able to work for as long as you need to or as hard as you need to. So it's important to get the rest that you need there. And your body can only work up to a certain amount of time. You can actually do 2 to 3 hours of physical activity and about 14 hours of mental activity. So we need to extend the school year or school day, right? No? Okay. For it. And the way that your body recovers from that is through sleep. So this slide shows how a brain looks when you are rested. You can see on the blue part that that's the blood flow into your brain, and that means that your brain is able to do the things that it needs to do and to process things. When you're tired, you have decreased blood flow, so you can't do things, again, as fast as you need to or as quickly as you need to. So it helps with memory. So if you learn something, being able to sleep actually helps you retain what you learn better. So if you have a big test, staying up all night cramming for it is not helpful. You want to get your good night's sleep before it because you're going to do much better on your test. And then you'll improve your mental and your physical performance as well. So a good reminder, nothing good happens after midnight. So you need to get your 8 to 10 hours of sleep. You should go to bed by midnight in order to achieve that goal. Again, sleep is an indicator of how well you do. There was a study done in Stanford. A sleep psychologist did a study there on athletes. Every single athlete who got 8 to 10 hours of sleep improved their ability, improved their function, improved their athletic capacity with the sleep. So you can do a lot of different things as an athlete. You can train really hard, you can eat the right things, but if you're not getting sleep, then you're not helping your body be at its ultimate best. So when you're tired, we've all looked like this a time or two, right? When you're tired, this is kind of what you do. You take an energy drink. I'm guilty. I'm a coffee addict, so I kind of do the same thing. And you kind of get that bug-eyed look for a couple hours, maybe an hour. And it's that 1 hour that you get, but then you're kind of going downhill from there. So energy drinks are not the answer. Caffeine is not the answer. You need to rest and recharge your brain. Again, I said you can get 2 to 3 hours of physical activity and about 14 hours of mental activity when your body is fully rested and your central nervous system is rested. You get central nervous system rest when you hit 8 hours or more of sleep, so you get your REM sleep. Your body goes through different periods of REM sleep at night. You need those full extended hours of sleep in order to get all of the different REM sleep to make you use it better. So remember, energy drinks are not the answer. You cannot make up for a deficit of sleep. So again, tonight was about choices, and I know I went through pretty quickly, but we're on a tight time schedule here. But the choices are, what are you putting into your body? When you put drugs and alcohol in your body, you're completely damaging your brain. You are hurting yourself not only on the athletic field, but in the classroom and in your future as well. You're affecting your ability to have the careers that you want and to be able to compete on a global marketplace for where you're going. But also when you start putting in things into your body that you don't need from a nutritional standpoint, I know there's folks here that are going to talk a little bit more about what that is, then you're affecting your body as well. So think about what you're doing and what you're putting into your body and how that's going to affect your brain. And remember, get as much sleep as you can. So all things come with value. So what are you willing to give and what are you willing to give up? It's kind of a motto you can use when you're faced with some of those choices, when you're out with your friends, when you're out with your peers, you're in a situation. Remember that. What are you willing to give up? Sometimes it's having to walk away from friends who aren't doing the right thing and going home and doing the right thing. So remember, it's all about you and the choices that you make. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here and look forward to working with you guys on the program.
continue with the parade. Talk a little bit about concussions.
All right, like you said, I'm Terry. I'm the athletic trainer here at school. Basically, I will be available on a daily basis after school every day for practices, and then I will be at all varsity home events. A lot of you incoming freshmen parents have probably been getting bombarded with them telling you to get in for concussion testing. Concussion testing is not determining whether or not your kid has a concussion. What I'm doing is running them through a computer-based program that we use, and I am generating a baseline score. Good? Okay. And with that score, if, say, they're out for football and they get a concussion, then I can use that score to retest them and compare those numbers and see where they're deficient at on a cognitive level. Okay? So that's basically freshmen, juniors, transfers, kids like that. We test them every other year to get a baseline number, and then I use those numbers to recheck them if the concussion occurs. So I believe we only have a couple sessions left. I believe I'm doing one this Thursday, which is full, and then I think next week, Wednesday, 2:15 is the last one as of now. Last thing I'll go over quick is there was a little flyer out there. Aurora's doing a concussion management little seminar. It's free. August 11th, 6 p.m. There's going to be a couple neuropsychologists there and one of the MDs, and they're just basically going to go over some general information, what a concussion is, how we manage it on field, safely managing it from a parental standpoint, how it affects young athletes, and how we safely return them to play. So if you're interested, stop by and check that out. And I believe that's about all I have.
Thanks, Terry. As Terry mentioned, there's a flyer on the tables as you came in. I highly recommend anybody that's available on that August 11th to attend. I went about 5-6 years ago to one of the seminars, and it was a real eye-opener about the effects that concussions can have on a student athlete. Terry, I don't know if Terry mentioned, we were the first school in the state of Wisconsin that went with the impact concussion testing, first high school. It's the same test that's done with the NFL players as well. So, next up is Emily Sellner. She's going to talk a little bit about the MILT program.
Hi, like Mr. Miller said, my name is Emily Sellner, and I'm going to be a senior here at Denmark High School. Last year, Mark Olson and I teamed up to form Students Promoting Milk, a program devoted to increasing the health and performance of Denmark athletes. According to Fitness Magazine, compared to water or most sports drinks, chocolate milk has double the carbohydrate and protein content, perfect for replenishing tired muscles. Its high water content replaces fluids lost as sweat, preventing dehydration. Plus, it packs a nutritional bonus of calcium and includes just a little sodium and sugar, additives that help recovering athletes retain water and regain energy. Chocolate milk is an all-natural sports drink that can help increase performance of any athlete. Not only does chocolate milk aid in muscle recovery, but studies have shown that it can also help prevent muscle damage. After running a test trial during the 2010 fall season, we decided to initiate the program starting in the winter season last year. With much success, we plan to continue the program this school year. Students will be offered chocolate milk every day after practice and also after sporting events for a mere fee of $10 a sports season, which is a little less than half the total cost. Chocolate and white half-pint milk cartons will be offered every day for people in a sport or for people working out in the weight room. We are not accepting any money tonight, but wait until your first few days of practice. If you would like to donate to the program, please contact Mark Olson or myself. And if you'd like more information on the benefits of chocolate milk, they're here at the front table. Athletes who drink chocolate milk versus the leading sports drinks can work out longer and with more power. So remember, drink chocolate milk this year. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the website first of all. If anybody's gone to the school website, you'd see this as the first page. And I'm going to talk about the forms. If you pick up a high school form or a middle school form out of the desk, either that or if you downloaded it already, you're all set to go. So first I'm going to go to the high school. If you're a middle school athlete, you just click on this one. High school right here. Scroll down to athletics. And I'm going to go to the athletic forms packet first of all. So right there. All right, this gives a little brief rundown of what's in the packet. Forms must be completed and submitted to the high school office prior to a student being declared eligible to practice and compete in athletics. All right, so this packet must be in with the $15 participation fee before they can attend any practice. If they do not have it in, coaches will send them home. All right, so you turn it into tonight. There's a $10 fee for high school football, volleyball, wrestling, and basketball. Concussion testing, Gary talked about briefly here. There's one July 28th that's filled, and then there's also going to be one August 3rd at 2:15. You can sign up with Barb. She'll be in the office right after the meeting if you need to get that done. This is for everybody as well, besides the fall athletes. So if you are going out for basketball in winter only, you can get the concussion test taken care of right away. Information as far as signing up is right here as well. Like I said, you'll turn this packet in after tonight. If you have everything filled out, just check right here. We have attended the mandatory meeting. If you talk to anybody that was not here tonight, this will be up on the website, video of the presentation starting tomorrow morning, hopefully. The next, right here's the physical dates. If you still need to take a physical, we still have August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd available at Aurora Baycare, and you can make your appointment by calling this number. Second page is just a IIA informational bulletin, and this will give you an idea of what's expected of a student athlete at the high school level, how you're eligible, and so forth. There's a couple pages of this. And then we get down to practice, travel, or release. By signing this, you're allowing your son or daughter to drive, provide transportation for others, and or ride with others to practice for the current school year. Reason for this is a lot of our facilities are off campus. All right, the next one is a consent for athletic training services and emergency medical treatment. What we've done here is combine what used to be the FERPA form and the emergency medical sheet. Okay, this sheet is combined into one. So you'll just fill this sheet in. And the last sheet on there is the physical form / alternate year card. All right, physical must be on file with the office. They're good for 2 years. And again, Barb will be in the office, and if you're not sure if your son or daughter needs a physical for this coming school year, she can look it up and let you know if they need to take one. All right, so that those forms are filled out, and you're good to go. All right, next thing I'd like to show you on the website here is the supplemental is something we just added in the last week. You go to athletics, supplemental athletic, I'm just going to back up a second. If you go to the middle school website, you'll notice there's only 2 forms, or 2 sheets on the form. Okay, it's the last 2, the emergency contact information and the physical alternate year card. So middle school students, you only need to turn in those 2 sheets. All right. Okay, the supplemental athletic information. We just added this on, like I said. It comes up here. Okay, what is here is the reporting dates for the fall season. All right, so you can look up the sport that you'll be in, and the first day of practice, where to meet, what time. All right, for high school and middle school. And we did have one change already on volleyball. On the 16th, there's been a change on the times, and I think Coach McMonigal, where are you at? Did you post those? Okay, they're posted outside the corridor here, and she also let them know at practice that first day. This sheet is also up here if you'd like to take one with you at the end of the meeting. Next page is a coach's directory. If you need to contact any of the coaches, I've got their emails, the ones that I received, their school numbers. I did take off their home and cell phone numbers. I erased that off of there. But if you need to contact a coach, high school and middle school. And the next part is some articles that might be of interest to people. The first one was more to do with concussions, determining when it's safe to return to play. You can read about that, some fact sheets for parents. Next one is meddling parents, a burden on school athletics. This came from the IIA flyer that they had sent out. There's some more information from the IIA on steroids right here, and other we've got performance enhancing and banned substances. And then the last article is on benefits of multiple sport participation outweigh sport specialization. This is a pretty good article explaining why it's good for a student to be in multiple sports rather than trying to specialize in one. All right, the next thing. If you go to athletics, this is for middle school as well, you can go to the middle school site, and if you click down to athletic schedules, you'll get our Bay Conference website, and if you go over to Denmark, you'll find the schedules here, right over here, all the schedules for teams, as far as games and practices. Let's go to cross-country varsity. So click on that, click on view, and you'll get a printout of the this year's varsity cross-country schedule, departure times, so forth, where they're located, and you can make a printout of that if you like. All right, the next thing I'd like to show you on here is the Notify Me. I think a lot of people are not aware of this feature. I think we had less than 10 people that signed up for it last year. If you click on this, Notify Me, anytime there's a change in the schedule, you can get notified. You'll be notified by a phone call or an email. Let's say, now you gotta be careful, there's so many categories here. Probably best to print out your son or daughter's schedule, first of all, to see what it's labeled. If you look up here, it says football boys JV. On our schedule, it's really not listed as football boys JV. It's football all JV. Okay, so if you clicked on the other one, you're not going to get a notification because we don't have that on our schedules. All right, so I'm just going to click here, go through the continue. Now you can do multiple sports or practices. I'm just going to click on the one for now. All right, so once you've gone through all the ones that you want to check off to be notified, you'll get to this screen, and it'll say send reminders before each activity. So if you want to be reminded about a game 6 hours before it starts, click 6 hours. And then right over here, also notify me with all schedule changes. Fall's not too bad, but if we get to a winter sport, spring sports, and there's a cancellation of a game, you can click this one, and as soon as I make a change on the schedule off of our website, you'll get an email or a text message, depending on what you choose here. I'll get to that. All right, so you click those, continue on. You'll fill in your name, email address, create a password, and if you want to do both, email and cell phone, you just continue to fill this all in. You'll choose your mobile provider, and then save the settings, and you'll get the contact information anytime the schedule is changed. Okay, any questions on the Our School program? We just went over to this program last school year. All right, next thing is the, if you look on your agenda sheet, down to number 8 is participation fees, laundry fees, athletic passes. You can just read on that about the, like I said before, a participation fee is $15, $10 laundry fee for football, volleyball, basketball, wrestling. Athletic passes, $80 for a family, $40 for an adult, and so forth. And Barb will be in the main office again right after if you would like to purchase any of the passes. One thing I forgot to mention here, locations. We get phone calls once in a while wondering where location of a cross-country meets. So if you go to high school again, athletics, right down here you've got the directions to Bay Conference schools and directions to non-conference schools. All right, so say Hortonville, and you'd like to see where cross-country meet is. It's at Greenville Lions Park, and then it'll have directions. They got a map that they put out there. So. Got a map of every location for everything. The non-conference schools, click on that. It'll show all of the non-conference schools that we have events with, and find out where they're located. Okay, any questions? Okay, we're going to wrap up with our principal, Mr. Orr Nails, and he's got some general information.
Just a few things that I wanted to touch base on that I came across. How many of you came this May to a meeting that we had here regarding Recruiting Realities is what it was called? Okay, a few of you. I was there and I didn't know what to expect from the gentleman that came in, and those of you that were there probably can contest that he was pretty blunt about his message and pretty direct. He wasn't selling anything, he was just educating on recruiting as far as if you're interested in playing at the next level. Now, I know most of you here might be saying, well, my son or daughter may not be playing at the next level, but at this stage, I just wanted to make you aware of some information. And I thought his message was very good, and as a former head football coach, I felt about this small when he got done speaking because I felt like I didn't do my players a genuine service when it came to helping them or giving them good information. And I thought his message was very good as far as giving you a heads up on what it's like if you do want to play at the next level, and if you truly do want to play at the next level, to actually get your college fully funded and not just an athletic scholarship. As he pointed out in his presentation, for those of you that were there, only 0.8% of all athletes actually earn an athletic scholarship. You can at the Division III, II, and I level still, if you want to play college sports. I had the pleasure of it. I know Coach Denny had the pleasure of playing college sports, and there's many of your coaches here that have played college sports. And if you are interested in doing that, sometimes it's good to have the information up front so you can begin planning for it. And so what I want to do is just kind of go through what some of the things he covered, and actually I found a little video clip of him being interviewed, and I think he does a better job of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, is just go through that, especially if you have a son or daughter that is thinking about it and isn't maybe committed. But one thing you'll be amazed at, and if you go to his website, and you'll find out that at the sophomore level is where they're actually, the colleges are starting to look at. They're not waiting until you're a junior or senior. And if you think that they're going to be discovered, but his point is you're not. You have to go out there and try to market yourself. And you have to think of it in sort of a business perspective. Again, I'm not promoting him. He was here. He speaks nationally. He doesn't sell anything. He just does it as an educational thing. We had to actually pay him to come in here and speak. And that's where, obviously, but he has a vested interest. He was a former college coach. This is his website, so if you want to go to it, I have a handout here afterwards. Again, I'm not promoting him. He just happened to have been here. I thought his message was very good, and it was well worth listening to. There is nothing he's selling.
Well, my name is Jack Rinkins. I'm President and CEO of Recruiting Realities, based in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was a collegiate coach at the Division II level in Massachusetts. And I just started getting around the parents because my daughter was playing both club and high school, and found out how little parents knew about the process, and started trying to educate them a little bit, and just decided there was a real need across the country for somebody to tell them the truth. And that's basically how this whole thing got rolling, and I'm entering my 16th year right now traveling the United States. I'm doing approximately over 170 events, ranging from Hawaii to Florida, and it's something I really enjoy doing, and just have my 12th book coming out for this fall. I would say the biggest misconception about the college recruiting process is a student athlete who is fairly successful at the high school level, they feel they're going to have opportunity to pick the school where they want to play. And I would say that's one of my biggest lines. You do not get to pick the school will pick you. And I think the other thing that I really try to accentuate on is the fact that, look, they don't pay, you don't play. I write for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. I have a weekly article in there. I write for Student Sports Magazine. I write for Stack Magazine. I write for the California Newsline. And I get hundreds of emails daily, especially in September, that are just heartbreaking, where, you know, parents will write in, I've been reading your article for 2 years, and our daughter, you know, plays volleyball, and we went to visit school, and the coach told us this, the coach told us that. Now she enrolled, and she's been here 2 weeks, and she called us, and the coach told 20 other young women the same song and dance, and she got cut. She's devastated. What went wrong? And it always goes back to the same thing. They don't pay, you don't play. You have to be in a position to negotiate. And families love their kids. They love their kids more than anything. What do you think a college coach is going to tell you? Everything you want to hear. The only thing they're not going to talk about is money, especially at the Division III level, where they go, there's no athletic aid offered here. I'm sure you're aware of that. Yada, yada, yada. There's academic awards, grant money, achievement money, tuition discount, merit money. There is a way to get your college education funded. It's all based on the same thing. How bad do we need you? And that's what parents need to get educated about. Well, you know, high school coaches love their kids just like the parents, and they'll do anything in their power to assist them. But I use a line every night. If I have 10, 15 high school coaches in an event, I always say to the audience, I know your high school coaches are going to help, your AAU coach is going to help, but watch this. And then I go over to them and go, how many college coaches you personally know in Minnesota? None. How many you know in Ohio? 2. How many you know in Mississippi? None. How many you know in Montana? None. How many you know in Nebraska? 1. How many you know here? None. 1. There isn't a high school coach in this country know even 5% of the college coaches personally. They love their kids, but this was a numbers game. And you have to be in a position to negotiate. And they want to help, but if they help one student athlete on their team, they're going to have to do the same type of work for all the rest of them. That's an impossibility. And what I always try to tell the parents and the student athlete, this is about creating an opportunity, not sitting here and waiting for one. I have families all the time. You know, I'll go to a senior student athlete and I'll go, well, Mark, how many collegiate opportunities have you gotten so far? None. Well, they've been waiting 3.5 years. And I asked another parent, your daughter's a sophomore volleyball player. How many collegiate opportunities you got? None. Well, you want to be in the same position when you're a senior? Well, no. You need to realize this is about creating an opportunity. Do not sit here and wait for one. Well, as far as creating an opportunity, I mean, most families select the option, well, our high school coach has got a couple contacts. Well, that's not going to do much good. Well, our club coach said that they were going to be able to help us, but then they'll start the process themselves. So they'll put together an email. They think that they're going to make a clip, you know, on a DVD now. And then the first thing they do is pick the schools. Let's pick these 5, 6, 7 schools that we like. And they mail that out. And then they end up finding out it's a very tedious, time-consuming task. And what they need is professional help. And I think with technology today, I think the majority of the population across the country realizes that this is how college recruiting works in 2011. It's not 1999 anymore. There are several extremely reliable, trustworthy services out there that can assist families. The problem is there's a lot of T-boning, a lot of people do not understand how this works, and they get contacted, and the first thing out of their mouth, no, we're going to wait. And it's right back to, well, then wait. You need to create, not wait. Well, I feel it's one of the biggest misconceptions with high school coaches and families. They do not realize that major colleges, and we're looking at Big Ten, Pac-10, SEC, are purchasing information and evaluations on student athletes across the world, not the United States, the world. They're spending tens of thousands of dollars. These are kids that are rated, ranked top 200, top 300, maybe even up high as top 500 basketball players, for an example, in the world. Well, their son or daughter is not on this list. They did not start as a freshman or sophomore on the varsity. There's nobody made an evaluation of them. They're in the other 98th percentile. How can I recruit you if I do not know who you are? That is an impossibility. I coached at the Division II level out on the East Coast, and I would send out 2,000 questionnaires each year at the end of August, because the contact date is September 1st, you know, for mail on a regular basis. I'd be lucky to get 25 back. Oh, Assumption College Greyhounds? I said, I don't want to go there. Throw it away. And that's an issue. But the list, I bought the list. So I was sending information out to low Division I, Division II caliber kids. But the majority of the population across the country are Division III, NAIA, junior college caliber. Those coaches don't have the budgets or the resources to find out who these kids are. And that's why they need professional assistance. Well, I have a big section in my guidebook each year about how to interpret recruiting letters. And I think some of the key things are, we have an opportunity to see you play. We've spoken to your high school or club coach, and the word scholarship or evaluation term is listed in that letter. I have a sample of about 10 letters, and I always explain to the parents, see these other 9 letters? You know what I call these? User letters. These are letters to get you interested in the college, to get you on campus, to make the pitch. And the pitch is always the same. We love you, we think you have an opportunity to play here. That's a walk-on, and then the absurd preferred walk-on. And it goes right back to the same term. They don't pay, you don't play. So, every school can offer you a paid visit. Parents always say, oh, we went here, the coach invited us, we got on campus, they spent 2 hours with us, they did this. Well, did they pay for the visit? Well, no. Well, wake up. Wake up. That's what I say. The best way to find out a little bit more about me and Recruiting Realities is obviously go to my website, recruitingrealities.com. There's video clips, ordering information, etc., everything you need to get yourself prepared.
One of the things he pointed out too was, and again, I'm not doing this, but I feel like we have a lot of great athletes here at Denmark. We have a lot of great kids and a lot of great people. And sometimes it's good to get the information up front so that you don't have to walk away down the road and go, geez, I wish I would have known that when I was a freshman. I could have begun planning when I was a freshman to do these things, especially for those of you that are going from 8th grade now into 9th grade. There's a few at that meeting that would like to play college ball. He made a very clear point to them about the fact that you need to have your grades. End of story. And he also pointed out that if you are interested, go online, and this is from NCAA, it's free. It will tell you exactly what you need to do if you would like to go and play at the next level. What sort of grades you need, what sort of ACT scores you need, SAT scores. And the other thing is, he made it very clear, is Devin Oswald in here? Devin? Okay, he made an example of you, did he not?
Yeah.
He asked you, do you want to play college ball, and what did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what did he say to you?
Don't say that.
Exactly. He threw down and he said, at this point, if this was an interview in the living room, and the college coach is sitting there and Devin just gave him a yeah answer, he said the college coach would get up and say, thank you for your time, I'm leaving. What did he say you should say, Devin?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, no, sir, yes, coach, no, coach. Look him in the eyes, sit up straight, with respect. And that's one thing that I think Denmark students do a phenomenal job of, is we demonstrate respect. And I would like you to be able to receive benefits for doing that. So I'm just pointing this out. If you're interested, go to this website. And then the last thing I have is for you parents. It's called Positive Sports Parenting. And this is something that I have up here if you want to take it with you. It's got his website in the back. But basically the point is, this came from him, and I thought it wrapped things up, especially from my perspective as a parent, as a coach, and in the education field, looking at this. Make sure your child knows, win or lose, that you love them, you appreciate their efforts, and you're not disappointed in them. Remember, they're here, they're performing, and support them positively. Try your best to be completely honest about your child's athletic capability, competitive attitude, sportsmanship, and actual skill level. I can speak with all sincerity as a former coach. I had many parents come into me and say, why isn't my son starting? You know, he's da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes it's hard to explain to parents that you're setting an unrealistic bar for your child. You in your mind may think they're the bestest in the world, but in reality, you have to be honest with it and look at it. That is my word, by the way. Be helpful, but don't coach on the way to the track, diamond, or court, on the way home, at breakfast, and so on. Support your child. Don't coach them. Let the coach coach. Let your son or daughter play. Teach them to enjoy the thrills of competition, trying, working, improving their skills and attitudes, taking the physical bumps and coming back for more. That's the whole idea behind competition. You get knocked down, what do? You get back up. What's the lesson we learn from that? That's the great thing about athletics. That's why we're all here. We're all going to participate in athletics, but the greatest life lesson from it is, what do you do once you get knocked down? How do you overcome that obstacle? And the unfortunate thing for those that don't compete in athletics, they don't get that opportunity until they face it in the real world. Your sons and daughters here are going to get the opportunity to get knocked down, so to speak, and get a chance to get up and become better people because of it. Try not to relive your athletic life through your child in a way that creates pressure. Remember, you fumbled too. You lost as well as you won. You were frightened, you backed off at times, and you were not always heroic. Don't pressure them because of your pride. And that's a tough thing to swallow as a parent sometimes, but you need to back down and let your son or daughter compete and let them fall where they may. We were not perfect. I was not perfect in high school. I made plenty of mistakes, and I allow my children to have the same opportunity. Don't compete with the coach. The young athlete often comes home and chatters on about coach says this, coach says that. This is often hard to take, especially for a father or mother who has had some sports experience. I'm going to share it. Just let the coach coach. If you have concerns about the coach, address them with the coach, address them with administration, but don't address them with your son or daughter. Let them experience the opportunity with the coach. Don't compare the skill, courage, or attitudes of your child with that of another members of the squad or team, at least not in front of them. Don't say, well, why aren't you starting? Johnny over there. That's, support your child. You should get to know the coach so that you can be assured that his or her philosophy, attitudes, ethics, and knowledge are a good influence on your child. We have a new football coach this year. We have other new coaches. So we got to get an opportunity to get to know them. Take that opportunity. Get to know them. Find out what their philosophy is. See if it agrees with you. If it differs, have that conversation with them. Always remember that children tend to exaggerate both when praised and when criticized. Temper your reactions to their tales of woe or heroics they bring home. Okay, again, if they come home and say blah, 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 talk to the coach before you pass any judgments. And make a point of understanding courage and the fact that it is relative. Explain to your youngster that courage does not mean an absence of fear, but means doing something in spite of fear or discomfort. The opportunity to extend and go outside the box. To allow them to grow as people. And never approach a coach on game day to talk about your child before, during, or after a contest. I can speak to that one. That will drive me insane as a coach, and I know every coach in the building here will be about the same way. You're going to come up to him just before you're going to hit the field and say, Coach, can I talk about why my son isn't playing? Really not the best time, okay? There's better times and places to do that. Parents' coaching job is the toughest one of all and takes a lot of effort. Sometimes in your desire to help your child, best intentions can end up being counterproductive. Applying the rules for parents will go a long way towards fostering an environment that your child can use to enjoy and excel in their sport. And again, are these absolute live-by type things? No, but I think they're very good guidelines to go by. And it was one of the first ones that I found that I thought addressed everything from my perspective as a former coach, as a player, and as a parent. I thought they hit all the hot topics. So if you're interested, I have a few copies up here if you want to take one with you. Like I said, if you wanted the website for his site, it's on the back there. Again, I'm not promoting him. He just so happens he came to our school. We got him ridiculously inexpensive. Normally he charges a couple hundreds of dollars, and we got him for $100. So he fit in his schedule. It was awesome. And hopefully we can bring him back because I think he had a great message, very poignant. With that kind of concludes the evening. I thank you all for coming. I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be awesome.